of it, but we do notice that this storm is very capable of producing it just based on the velocity and based on the reflectivity. And there you see that notch. This is the concern with this style of storm. These are called QLCS events. What that means is you get quick spin ups. They're capable of dropping a quick tornado and then they pick back up. And the concern with this is, again, potentially a tornado somewhere just southeast of Wayne Township. Let's see, Massey Township, Kingman area, Gurney, is that Gurneyville to the east?
Gurneyville.
Again, if you're in those areas, you want to start taking precautions. I know we have friends that live over there. We have coworkers, so we are very concerned. Massey Township, especially with some of these lighter blues, I'm not sure if it's weakening a little bit there or if it's still just maintaining so much strength, but again, concerning with that. So I'm going to let Natalie take over here and let her guide you through this.
Yeah, I just want to note, because this now does include parts of Greene County under this, because we do have not just Warren County, we also have Clinton County, but Greene County is under this now, not including the Xenia area, but southeastern Greene County. Notice how long this tornado warning is for, indicating not just a fast movement, but also the severity of it, as this is a pretty clear indication of radar indicated tornado. As we were just noting, we're looking at the potential debris signature, not necessarily getting that. That being said, we do want to take this very seriously. If you are in Clinton County, Warren County, eastern Warren County right now, and then also southeastern Greene County, we do have that tornado warning, and this goes until I believe 9:45 p.m. So this does include parts of Greene County, Xenia. The storms rolling in right now, we've seen these storms potentially produce some 60+ mile-per-hour wind gusts that could cause some wind damage, but we do also have that tornado warning now that has expanded into southeastern Greene County out of this. So right now we have power outages across the region, which is no surprise due to the very strong winds, most of those in the Dayton area. We also had some up near Coldwater, but right now we have about 774 folks without power, but I would not be surprised if that number continues to climb as these storms continue to roll through. But it looks like most of those are through the downtown Dayton area, where we've seen some incredibly strong wind gusts there, upwards of 60 miles per hour as those storms roll through.
According to a ham radio in the Waynesville area, they have a tornado. They said that there was a potential tornado touchdown in the Waynesville area. So that was that's that northern one that we've been watching. That's that like tight couplet that we were really on.
Yeah, that it would not surprise me at all with the signature that we were seeing with that, because not only were we getting an indication of that rotation, just incredibly strong winds within this storm too, but this is right over the Massey Township area, so potentially has already produced a tornado as it now makes its way eastward. This is correlation coefficient, so our debris tracker on here, not necessarily getting a clear indication of perhaps debris out there, but that being said, does not mean that there's not a tornado there. We definitely just want to take this seriously. It looks like this notch right there, so north of the Massey Township area, that tornado warning does expand into Greene County. That does include the Port William area, southeast of Silver Creek Township, Wilmington under this. Sabina, you are under this tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. So Springboro, I wanted to say, because you were under that tornado warning earlier, the strongest part of that storm has moved east of you. You are no longer under that tornado warning. Wayne Township, storms pushing eastward. However, the tornado warning still in place for you for now, although the storm is starting to head its way out. Still want to be in that safe spot. Xenia, the storm, severe thunderstorm warning, 60 mile-per-hour winds possible, quarter-size hail. That storm's moving into your area right now, but most importantly, we do have this tornado warning that does include parts of southeastern Greene County, and this is until 9:45 p.m. Wilmington, you are under this tornado warning as well, as we've been getting radar indicated area of rotation, potentially a tornado with this. We have reports of potentially a tornado that has touched down with this. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning has now expanded outside of our region, does include the Springfield area, and that continues to make its way eastward into the Columbus region as these storms continue to pack a punch with the potentially 60-mile-per-hour winds. We are still under a tornado watch until 1 a.m., although I would not be surprised if perhaps they drop that just a little bit earlier, but we'll continue to monitor this throughout the evening as these storms continue to roll their way through with that latest tornado warning for parts of southeastern Greene County, parts of Clinton County as well, and that is of course until 9:45 p.m. So it does include the Caesars Creek Township area, Jasper, Sabina, and Wilmington until 9:45 p.m. So you want to be in your safe spot and away from windows and at the lowest level of your home with that tornado warning there.
All right, I will take over here for a little bit. Natalie, obviously working hard and get her a couple seconds to breathe. Here's what we're looking at. So again, when we talk about notches, this is one that we have concern about. Zach, can you do me a favor? Could we pull up velocity? I just want to see the area. I want to go actually the whole area, top to bottom. So from Urbana to the north, wherever that watch is, because I just want to show that we do have some strong winds in even Urbana, Springfield area, and Xenia. But again, the major concern is this notch. So if you notice how almost the entire corridor is green, and then you have this notch just to the west of Wilmington, actually almost right along. Now we can, if you want to, can we zoom in on that one? So that is the concern. This passed right over the, Caesar Creek State Park area. That is where we did actually see potential for a touchdown in the Waynesville area. Again, Zach, can we zoom in? Maybe, yeah, there we go. Thank you. So again, this notch is indicative of rotation, and that's the first sign that a tornado could start to form. Obviously, in this environment, you do have a lot of spin. We have a lot of moisture. When we start talking about things that we're checking off, this is it. As of right now, I'm not quite sure if it is on the ground, a tornado. Again, we did get at least a comment from a ham radio operator that there was one. We do not have a debris ball signature, so that is good. There was none, which does suggest that if it was a tornado, it was a rather weak one. Again, the debris ball signature would indicate a very strong tornado, or at least a strong one, but we do not have that right now. So let's go back to velocity, and you see what's happening is, and I think this is very much so what happens in these, is it starts to spin up, then it almost relaxes, it weakens, then it spins up and it relaxes and weakens. And what you end up with is some spots where it really starts to wrap up, and that's when you do have the threat of a tornado. This style of system is very, very tricky to predict exactly when it's going to drop, how it's going to drop, and how strong, but that is the major concern. You see this area of light blues, that's the area where there are some really intense winds. At one time, we did see the radar was estimating 80-mile-an-hour winds, now upper 50s. And I'll point out, this is not that far from the radar dish itself. So effectively, you are looking maybe not even that high into the atmosphere as well. You are looking relatively low. So I would even say 50, 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts, just based on radar alone, are certainly possible. Right along 71, again, if you're in the Port William area, you want to start taking precautions. If you're south of Silver Creek, do me a favor. Could we go up to Greene County, right about where this 134 is, and see if we can actually start naming some areas that are in the warning itself. Again, that is Greene County, the southeastern part of Greene County itself. So Bowersville, again, you have Caesars Creek Township area, just to the south of Silverville Creek. Anything 134 towards 35, that area, you want to start talking about your safe spots. So Hanley Road, Rosemore, 72 up along that, you want to start being in your safe spot. 134, this is southeastern Greene County. Again, if you are in western Montgomery, anywhere to the west of, for all intents and purposes, 70, a lot of the worst storms have passed, but if you are east of there, we're still dealing with not only the threat for gusty winds, but potentially a tornado. Again, this is right now Warren County down here. That is where the rotation is. It does look like perhaps it has weakened, but as we have said, it'll weaken, it'll pull stronger, it'll weaken. This is a life cycle that does happen, especially when it gets along a frontal boundary.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've been seeing. And in fact, they just issued that new tornado warning for the storm just south, because there are a couple areas of rotation that they're seeing. Again, these storms kind of pulsing, bringing about not just the one potential tornado, but potentially another area of rotation. So pretty much the majority of Clinton County under that tornado warning now. This is until 9:45 p.m. They ended up adding another tornado warning onto this just due to a couple areas of rotation. And again, this is the one that does make its way into Greene County. So southeastern Greene County, you want to be in your safe spot. Again, the Caesars Creek Township area, you're under a tornado warning. Xenia, right now, it's mainly rain, very strong winds, potentially 60-mile-per-hour winds, but a couple areas, and you're actually, I could see that little notch right there, southeast of Clarksville, and it looks like another notch right here north of Wilmington. That's why we have that tornado warning. We're still radar indicated. That being said, we have radio report of potentially a tornado that touched down in Waynesville earlier, so we know that this storm is capable certainly of producing a tornado if it hasn't already. We are getting a couple of signatures potentially right here north of the Midland area, and then again another notch further along here. Not as clear of an indication as what we were getting earlier. That being said, as we have been mentioning, even though it could bring about a quick tornado, it makes its way back up, and you could see another one right after that, kind of pulsing up and down. As you can see, just southeast of Silver Creek Township, we have that tornado warning still for parts of southeastern Greene County. This is until 9:45 p.m., so we still have about 20 more minutes or so on this tornado warning. We want to thank you guys for sticking with us. We right now are on ABC 22. We're also streaming on Facebook. We had our Facebook stream through our phone, but now we are streaming through Facebook, so you may have to find us again there if you were watching earlier, because we just stopped that phone stream. Otherwise, still have that tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. Again, that Caesars Creek Township, Jasper, Sabina area. This does include Clinton County, Greene County, and Warren County. And right now it's still radar indicated tornado, but we do want to take this seriously. You want to be in that safe spot. Bigger picture here, because we've been talking about not just these tornado warnings for Clinton County. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning expanding all the way through parts of Champaign County and into Clark County, as well as Greene County, where we have the potential for 60-plus-mile-per-hour winds with these storms as they continue to race their way eastward as well. So certainly getting some very strong winds with this, the potential for damaging wind gusts that could topple trees over. So you still want to take that seriously. Be indoors, away from windows, as we continue to track this severe thunderstorm warning. And again, potentially 2 radar indicated tornadoes with this tornado warning further to the south that does include parts of southeastern Greene County too. So if you're in the Dayton area right now, the heaviest part of the storm has moved eastward, no longer under that severe thunderstorm warning, but we still have this severe thunderstorm warning for Urbana, Springfield, Tremont City, Yellow Springs under that severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that. And then again, zooming in to this tornado warning, again, Bowersville, if you're in Bowersville, you want to be in your safe spot. Port William, you want to be in your safe spot. Wilmington, Sabina area, please do get into your safe spot, as we still have this tornado warning, and this is until 9:45 p.m. Right now, still a couple areas of radar indicated rotation with this storm, which doesn't look quite as defined as before. It looks like potentially over the Cuba area. We have an area of rotation there that we're tracking. So again, Cuba, Morrisville, Martinsville, New Antioch, get into your safe spot. If you're in Wilmington, of course, get into your safe spot too. Melvin, you want to be in that safe spot, as you are still under that tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. as we do have a couple areas of rotation with this line of storms that continues to race its way off to the east. So this is making its way out, but I do want to say, if the Dayton area, again, the bulk of those storms, the heaviest part of the storms has made its way eastward. We still do have some heavy rain, some, of course, lightning associated with this, but as far as our main line of storms, we do have a lot of the heavier rain pushing eastward. So very strong wind gusts. This is Springfield reporting a 50, almost 52-mile-per-hour wind gusts there. So incredibly strong winds associated with this. We've had multiple 50-plus-mile-per-hour wind gusts reported with these storms. So right now, that was just a look at our debris tracker, potentially where we could maybe see debris with this. Thankfully, we haven't had a good signature of that. We have had a report from earlier of potentially a tornado touching down in Waynesville. We're continuing to look into that. as well. But for right now, we still have that tornado warning. This goes for about 17 more minutes or so for our area. That does include the Wilmington area, New Vienna, and again, southeastern Greene County still under this tornado warning, and that is until 9:45 p.m. So if we want to turn on velocities again, see if we're getting any clear signature, or if the National Weather Service has mentioned anything else out of this line, because it does look like potentially a notch south of Wilmington and then a little further to the north as well.
They did mention as 4 minutes ago that the strongest signature was over the Cuba area. You actually mentioned that, so you did notice what they were noticing, but that has been the area where the strongest signature is currently. Again, something you and I were discussing is they've been pulsing and then weakening, and it's actually now the southern one that is the little bit of the stronger setup. It does look like that is, I guess, north of Martinsville on our map.
Yeah, it looks like this area right there. So yeah, earlier we were tracking the northern part of this storm had a very clear signature of rotation and definitely some very strong winds. That was near the Waynesville area. It looks like now this is the stronger area that we're tracking, so it looks like about State Route 134 is where that rotation is, north of the Mount Martinsville area, Morrisville. So State Route 350 and 134, kind of the intersection of that almost is where we have that. And yeah, that was the one that was over Cuba that I had mentioned earlier. Now that's making its way off to the east. And again, New Antioch still under that tornado warning. Burtonville still under that tornado warning. Still got about 15 more minutes of this tornado warning until it expires. It does include parts of Greene County. So if you want to go up again into parts of Greene County at this time, we still have this for just southeast of our Silver Creek Township area, Bowersville. If you're in there, get into your safe spot. Caesars Creek Township, definitely want to get into your safe spot there, which we've been talking about, indoors, away from windows, at the lowest level of your home. You could turn up the TV loudly if it's upstairs and listen to us as we walk you through it. We're also streaming on Facebook too. So if your phone's charged, make sure your phone is charged and get into that safe spot. Again, the main line of storms, if we do just want to show reflectivities now, just where we can see the rain, you can see that the heaviest part of the storm has now made its way off to the east. And I think you're saying this spot right here where looks like potentially a little notch there.
I was going to say, he actually noticed it also on the velocity when he pulled it up here. Zach, you were the one who caught this, so.
Yeah, you know, it's just another kink in the line there, but could turn into a tornado. Certainly a funnel cloud would come from that. That's a decent signature to start out with, and hopefully it doesn't get any worse than that.
Right, and that's kind of what we've seen, is something start out like this, potentially get a little bit stronger, and then weaken a bit too. And that's what we get with this line of storms rolling through. We really don't have the ingredients there for a violent, long-track tornado, but we do have the ingredients for brief spin-up tornadoes out of this. Either way, we want to make sure we take things seriously, because a tornado is a tornado. Winds 60 plus miles per hour can cause damage, topple trees over. They definitely do damage. So again, this was one of our areas that was now making its way through parts of northern Clinton County. If you're in Wilson Township, you want to be in your safe spot. Again, Bowersville in your safe spot as well. But again, reflectivities here showing that heaviest part of the storm, strongest part of the storm, now pushing eastward. So you can see that the Dayton area right now, we are mainly looking at some rain. All the lightning and that 60-mile-per-hour wind threat is now pushing eastward. But Urbana, if you're in Springfield, Xenia, you're still under that severe thunderstorm warning. That's until, I believe, 9:45 p.m. And then we still have this tornado warning that does include parts of southeastern Greene County, and that is also until 9:45 p.m. So
Natalie,
we got about 14 more minutes.
You were mentioning the winds. Wilmington, the weather station there, got 49-mile-per-hour gusts. That's sub-severe, but still very gusty winds. That is in Clinton County as of a handful of minutes ago.
Yeah. And even though they may be having 49-mile-per-hour winds right at their station, doesn't mean just south of there potentially could have 60-mile-per-hour winds. All along this line, we have had the potential for incredibly strong winds. Unconfirmed report of potentially 70-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts. either way, this storm's definitely packing a punch. And again, we still do have that tornado warning. This does go for until 9:45 for Clinton County. So if you are in Wilmington, you still want to be in your safe spot. This is southeast right now, southeastern Greene County still under this tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. So again, this is our main line. So Springboro in the clear, just some heavy rain.
56 mile per hour gust in Wilmington now. So it has even increased a little bit more.
There it is right there.
Yeah, 56 mile per hour winds just below severe limits. But as I mentioned, even with just south of the line or north of the line, you still could potentially have winds even stronger than that. And I believe this is kind of the area you were noticing right here. So the Sabina area, you want to be in your safe spot. Not only this entire line is producing some incredibly strong winds as it rolls its way through. And with that, we also have the potential for a brief spin up tornado. So it does look like the strongest part of the storm right now is making its way through Wilmington and eastern Clinton County, but we're going to continue to monitor a couple areas within the storm for that potential rotation as that heads its way eastward. So yeah, we're seeing some winds gusting. We've already had reports of about 56 mile per hour winds in Wilmington, so incredibly strong winds there. Again, the Sabina area, you want to be in your safe spot as you're under that tornado warning. Can't rule out a tornado, as well as, of course, those 60+ mile per hour winds as these storms continue to race their way off to the east. So definitely a powerful storm system that we've been tracking. Most of these have been south of our region as of right now. So yeah, we're continuing to track these storms. Zach, he's been doing our radar. I was going to hop on radar a little bit. Zach, if you wanted to hop up on the wall just here shortly too. And I'll kind of navigate you through this as well. We have, of course, the potential for those incredibly strong winds with this, and potentially 70 mile per hour winds reported. That was at Sugar Creek and Xenia. So, and Jamestown at Route 70, or excuse me, 45 mile per hour winds. I read that incorrectly, gusting up to 69 mile per hour winds. So yeah, very strong winds with this, right, Zach?
Yeah, it is, and this is really the definition textbook look of a straight line winds. You can see it's got its own almost straight path here eastward, and the brightening of the colors. And this is close to radar, which shows us that this is pretty close to ground truth, and this is about 50 mile per hour at least, sometimes maybe pulsing a little more than that, but there's that area highlighted there. And these right here around 55 mile per hour, just north of New Vienna, hopefully I said that right, but that's where the kink is in the line. Gate-to-gate shear showing 64 miles per hour, so being it's only about 6 or 7 miles from the radar, I would say it's close to 55 or 60 mile per hour gusts occasionally at ground level. That's enough to take down tree branches, throw some trees on power lines. So anybody that lives around County Road 28 and County Road 72 there, this is kind of the path that it's taking, kind of intersecting that. So this wall of wind will be heading your way shortly, and it is kind of supercharged up. You see all these lightning strikes, and I'm sure there's more of them that are just not showing up here, but just it's taking a little bit further to the north. There's that enhanced area right there around County Road 22, moving just around the Sabina area. So Sabina, if you live there, you're probably about to hear the wind howling. Yep, and there it is. It's getting a little bit stronger there, and I'm sure that that's more than about 60 miles per hour. But it's with this tornado warning here until 9:45, includes the cities of Jasper and Sabina. Wilson Township already seeing the last of the worst of this, and it just went through the Melvin area. Moving east pretty quickly, I want to say about 45 to 50 mile per hour ground speed eastward, so you don't have much time to prepare to get inside for this, but just a very wide area here, very long area of straight line winds. And there's been some kinks in the line with this, and we use this velocity tool to see what the winds are doing in and around the storm itself. And really this kink in the line north of County Road 28 is the most ominous feature of the area here. Yep, circling that. And I keep checking the correlation coefficient, and yep, another one right there around Sabina that might be kinking out. But hopefully that can just move on by without doing too much of damage or a problem there. But it is cruising right there around County Road 22, a wide area, so we can kind of show you some counties or some areas involved with this. Looks like the Memphis area, 938, 941 for Highland Station, Glendon 943, Bridges, East Monroe 948. And you don't have, like I said, you don't have much time to prepare for this. This is just cruising along here. At most of the cars probably driving 45 mile per hour down this county road. It'll be following you about that speed. So wouldn't try to outrun this, maybe get to a safe place. And sometimes you don't need a tornado warning to do a lot of damage. You see these enhanced winds right here. You want to get in the lowest level of your home, away from windows, walls, and doors. Maybe put on a helmet. But you can just see this conglomeration here of warnings that we've been tracking for over an hour now straight. And so I don't think we're done with it yet. And did they just now put that area in a tornado warning? Did I just see that?
This one right here, I believe they probably expanded this one with likely that notch that we were just tracking. And they're continuing it. So we may have kind of hopped off of it, and then I just put the box back on. So I do believe they expanded it more eastward. So the good news is that Wilmington, you are no longer under that tornado warning. That being said, Nick and I have been looking at the National Weather Service chat. There have been several 60+ mile per hour wind reports from Wilmington. So we certainly know that this storm has been producing severe winds at least. And then of course we have a couple of areas that potentially are also causing a tornado with this too, or a radar indicated tornado.
Yeah, and all of that, you know, it's a lot to track, and you might see your county here still in the warning, tornado warning still for the southeastern part of Greene County, but the worst of it is already passed. So I think if you're just right there east of Port William, I'd say you're good to go, except for some heavy rainfall and lightning. Silver Creek Township looks to be just borderline with that, but the worst of it's gone. But Sabina right there, those winds are howling about 60 or more miles per hour, maybe putting some limbs down in people's yards. Hopefully they can fall away from the home, and also hopefully you took the time to prepare for these damaging winds that are moving through. But there's that one kink in the line, a couple about 5-6 miles east of the Wilmington radar, and then there's that one right there around Sabina, co-located with some very strong wind gusts. And this is just part of the line. Of course, it's very extensive, goes all the way up to the far northeastern reaches of our area. And Bell Fountain's just getting some rainfall there. Springfield, Urbana just had the worst of this go through, but still this line, it just shows the potential for some brief spin-ups, or maybe even not brief, as this continues to cruise on out of the way here.
Yeah, and it looks like the worst part of that storm in Greene County is now moving east. They expanded that tornado warning eastward. We're going to stick with you guys for a few more minutes here, as it appears that the main threat of these storms is exiting our region. Of course, we still have these for Clinton County, so we're going to stick with this one that's over the Sabina area as well as for New Vienna, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start to trim back these tornado warnings as the threat continues to progress its way eastward for sure. In fact, you can actually see how the strongest winds now are making their way out of Clinton County at this time, and that severe tornado warning set to expire at about 9:45 p.m. as well.
And I think we have the tornado watch going until, what is it, 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 a.m. So I think it's going to expire a little earlier based on the speed of these, but just while it's still going around here, just on the far northeastern edge of the radar view here, I mean, 55, 60 mile per hour winds, 6 miles, 7 miles from radar. It's very close to radar, so I think that ground speed is pretty accurate based on what we've been pixelating here with our pixel query at times. But you know, we have all three of us here, so we can just kind of tag team it out, whoever wants to get on. So you're seeing all three of us, because it's a kind of an all hands on deck situation.
It was one of those several days ago where we had our, I believe it was a day 7 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center indicating the potential for storms right here in the Miami Valley. And Then now here we are, a day of level 3 threat for severe storms, which with the primary concern for damaging winds. And that's certainly what we have seen. We've had multiple reports of at least 60-mile-per-hour winds with that. Right now, again, the strongest part of these storms now pushing eastward, but we do know that these winds potentially at least 60 miles per hour east of the Sabina area, which is now making its way out of Clinton County into now moving into Fayette, Pickaway, Ross counties. So that tornado warning expanded eastward to about 10:15 p.m. So the worst of the storms now pushing out of our area. If we just want to put up reflectivities for us real quickly here, so we can kind of take a look at the rain and the heaviest of the precipitation. You can see the strongest part of those storms expanding eastward. So bigger picture here. Heaviest rain, strongest part of the storms pushing eastward. So if you are in Xenia, if you are in Dayton, right now the strongest part of the storms, you are clear of that. That being said, if you are still in those eastern counties, if you have friends, family eastward into the Columbus area, these storms are now making their way eastward, posing that severe risk for them. So as of right now, we still have that tornado watch until 1 a.m. But as we've mentioned, National Weather Service or the Storm Prediction Center will likely let that expire a little bit early. But I'm about to send you guys back to regular programming. In the meantime, if you have any photos and you could safely do so of any damage, we're about to have our newscast, Dayton 24/7 now on Fox 45 at 10 p.m. We'd love to share photos with viewers as well as with the National Weather Service of any damage. And of course, if you could do so safely, we've gotten lots of hail reports, lots of wind reports across the area of at least 60-mile-per-hour winds. But again, these tornado warnings are set to expire. The worst part of those storms now pushing east of our region. So for right now, I'm going to send you guys back to regular programming, and we hope you tune in at Fox 45 at 10 p.m. for Dayton 24/7 Now News with the latest.